Hey, hello. It must be
York Vinnie.
so. Okay, we're going to get this. Again, we always seem to have a bit of a problem when it comes to our. There we go. We're going to get this. Believe
On
you
this
me.
week's edition of Yo, Vinny, what are you driving this week? What if I could show?
Okay.
Drive Time Radio with New York Vinnie.
On this week's edition of Yo, Vinny, what are you driving this week? What if I could show?
Yo, Vinny, what are you driving this week?
Have a little fun. It is a fun day here out at
You're listening to Drive Time Radio.
Remember, just plug in. I'm ready.
And we are ready, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are ready for Drive Time Radio. A minute and change into it. We got it all together. Maybe it's just the fact that I'm celebrating my stepmother's birthday a little too early. My stepmom her birthday is today, and we always get together on Carol's birthday and wish her a happy birthday. And we'll be doing that just a little bit later. We won't all do it together. I mean, it's a personal thing, but I'm a little verklempt over the whole thing. I'm happy that she is another year on this beautiful planet, and she's with us, and she's having a good time from all accounts. So God bless her, and God bless all of us. It's been a crazy week up here, as you well know. If you live in the area, you know it. If you have been watching the news, we get a lot of phone calls from people saying, hey, what's going on up there? You okay? Everything all right? And so far, so good. We are. Places that we work are affected, and I'll tell you about those in a second. But for all of you out there, welcome to our little radio show that we do here, an internet show that we do every week at 11 o'clock or thereabouts in the AM. We get a chance to spend a little bit of time with you, hanging out and talking cars. And there's a lot to talk about this week. So we will get to that directly. We've got a review for you. We're going to talk about something that I'm sure you have seen around the streets of Seattle. And if you live in a big city, you've seen them. If you work on a farm, you've probably seen them because they are popular. The K car is very popular, and I don't mean the old Chrysler from the 70s, but the Japanese import K cars are very popular on farms because they're small, they're cheap, they're easy, inexpensive to run around. And a lot of people are talking about them this week because the president has said he'd like to see more of them and like to see them manufactured here. So we'll get into that a little bit as well, because it's always fun when you get into things like that. Get to, talk a little bit about what's going on in the world. Because, the car business is kind of quiet this week. It's Christmas. A lot of people take off. A lot of people leave the factories, the design centers, and everything like that. So after the LA Auto Show, you don't get a ton of news until January from the car companies themselves. But there's a lot of other people making a lot of other news in cars, and we will certainly jump into that on this show. So maybe the biggest news that affects me and us here is the floods that are just devastating western and now into the center of the state in Washington. We have been under an atmospheric river since I think it was last Sunday or Monday. It started And I don't know that anybody thought it would be as proliferate as it was. But boy, 11, 12, 13, 14 inches of rain in some places. Where we live is a unique place. We're between two mountain ranges, the Olympics on one side, the Cascades on the other. And the rain will sometimes, when you get this atmospheric weather kind of stuff, come down between those two mountain ranges and not be able to get up over the second mountain range that is east of us, the Cascades. And so it gets stuck in places. And so seemed to be the situation earlier this week when places in eastern King County and Snohomish County and Kitsap, well, I don't know about Kitsap so much, but the counties up to the north in cities like Mount Vernon and Burlingame and Bellingham, up the I-5 corridor, and then east out to places like Marble Mountain, Concrete, and basically any place that had a stage to it. Seemed
Radio with
all right. Let me put this graphic up. Okay, it's supposed to go up there. There we go. Now, let me just give you a quick. We are down here in Edmonds. We are about here. All the way up here. This is I-5. This is the Joe Riccici Memorial Automotive Road Test Course. This is where I take the cars that we talk about here to road test them because it's a very diverse roadway. You see curves as you go out here toward Darrington, which is at A. The Burger Barn is right here, just in Darrington, the north part of Darrington. Then you go up this road, and this runs right along the Skagit River. Goes right along here, and you see it go back up here, and you see it come here till you get to Concrete and Marble Mount, which is right out here. This is much of this is underwater. Going back along Route 20, where you get to here, Cedro Woolley and Burlington, and a lot of this is underwater. This here is closed. This here was all underwater. This is the service station that we usually stop at, the truck stop, the Pilot truck stop up there, where I've taken many pictures of cars. And that was Wednesday, completely submerged. You couldn't get through. This here is Route 9. This is closed, or at least closed in a big part of it, south of Arlington, I believe, and into Arlington. So you have a lot of this closed. There's rivers that run right, all through here. And anything that runs here seems to have swollen its bank. This road is at 509, 529, I forget, is completely submerged in some places. I haven't driven the whole thing because there's really not a lot of sense in going up there and trying to drive it because already you know that it's closed. So, the best thing you can do is stay away and let the first responders do their thing and, try to help out any way you can. The best way to help is financially with the Red Cross. They have set up shelters in these towns in Burlington and Mount Vernon and Cedro Woolley and Arlington, and I believe maybe Darrington out here. I don't know that for a fact. But, and then if you go back here, there's, a couple of rivers that run back here, the Pilchuck and a few others. And I don't know how those are, but I would suspect that they would be close to their flooding stage. So it's a mess. And you see the pictures of these places. Again, they're along I-5, along Route 20. Route 20, if you've come to Washington, as somebody has told you to go up to the Cascade Mountains to ride the Cascade Loop Highway, out to central Washington and enjoy the beauty of that particular road that goes through New Halem and all of these beautiful places out to Twisp, and to some of the most gorgeous places, not only in the state of Washington but in the country. I mean, people come from all over the world to drive down this road and to experience the beauty of the Cascades National Park, of all of this natural beauty that has been, not destroyed, because it'd take a lot more than those floods to destroy it, but certainly has been a lot of inconvenience for people. And a lot of people flooded out of their homes, a lot of people that have lost their possessions. I mean, imagine you come home and all your pictures of your children are just all stuck together, sopping wet. Those Polaroids that you put in a box and says, "Oh, I'm going to take those and digitize them." I hope you put them in a waterproof box, because in a lot of places they're toast. If you're thinking of digitizing photographs, this is probably an ugly reminder to do it, because once that stuff floods, it's really hard to get back. I mean, there's experts, photographic restoration, but it costs a ton, and it's really hard to do. So that's what we're facing right now. Personally, the Red Cross at redcross.org can use your help. If you go to their website, it will tell you how you can donate. Every penny counts. The Skagit County and Mason County and the other counties that are out there north of us, the Red Cross is up there. First responders are up there, and they are working diligently to rescue people and to make sure that people stay safe. The Red Cross could use your financial help for simple things, necessities of life that they have to go out and buy. And what they do is they open up shelters and they make these kits up. And these kits have the bare necessities in them: some soap, some shampoo. Maybe some of them I've seen have blankets in them. The most important thing that people get in this time of need, I think, is a warm cup of soup or coffee, a blanket, a place to lie down, a place to rest a little bit, and a hug or a handshake or something that is going to tell you that people are behind you, that you're not in this alone, that you're going to have help. Now, the governor has been up here. Bob Ferguson has been in the area with other disaster officials. They've spoken to the necessary people to talk to in the federal government. And so far, from what I understand, from what I've gleaned from the press conferences, the federal government has been responsive. They're sending FEMA teams up here. They're sending people with knowledge of how to get through these things. Again, I don't know that anybody knows how to do it better than the Red Cross. And so anything that you can come up with to send to the Red Cross, and I'm sure your kids would be okay if they got one less toy this Christmas and took that money and dropped it in the bank at Red Cross so they can make peanut butter jelly sandwiches to get to people nutrition. The worst thing is to go through something like this and you're hungry, and you've if you can find any kind of restaurant open, you're going there trying to get something to eat. Maybe who knows? Maybe you don't have any money. Maybe you don't have any cash. Maybe you're homeless. Maybe you're living in a trailer in the woods out there somewhere, and all of a sudden, these floodwaters come and they take your trailer right out from under you. Lucky that you got out. Lucky that the fire department had a boat and they could come and get you. And I know it sounds like an unbelievable circumstance, but it's something that happens to people. How many people in this state sleep in their cars because they don't have money to get a place? And those people right now, if you've parked up there, which is a popular place to go because there's a lot of roads that, let's face it, you can park on and nobody's going to bother you. Except maybe a bear or something. But for the most part, you're not going to get bothered. You're either going to be on some kind of state land or some kind of federal land or something where nobody's going to come along and chase you. You're not going to get to knock on the window at night in most places. But now those places in a lot of locations does not exist for people. It's flooded. You can't get in, you can't get out, you can't get by. So anything you can do to help the Red Cross, to help the people who are out there. I've been saying this all week, and I really believe it. If you have the opportunity, you go into a store or you go into a fast food joint or a restaurant, and you see a bunch of first responders grabbing a meal. You don't have to pay for all of them, but it'd be nice for you to dip into your pocket and say, hey, put his on mine. You know, those people don't make a lot of money for the most part. Many of them are volunteers. And it's just nice sometimes to show them that you appreciate them. You take enough crap from people all throughout the year. Be nice to show them that they're appreciated. Because they may have saved somebody you know's life this very morning. Got them out of the drink, got them out of the water. Got them to a warm shelter. If you have electric blankets, if you have blankets that you don't need, I'm pretty sure that the relief organizations up there could use them. And for those of you that are south of me, down in Pierce County, and going down that way, Cowlitz, those places are experiencing severe flooding as well. So if you can do anything to help, it would be nice. And again, I'm not saying you have to send $1,000 or $100 even. But it's the little things. It's the walking up to somebody and saying thank you. It's the little message to somebody that says, are you okay? I've had several people call me to find out if I was okay. And I'm not even really, in the floodplain or anything in those houses. Or in that place I'm we have where I live, we have a creek that runs in the back of the house. I've been keeping an eye on that. That doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And we're pretty high on top of it. There'd have to be some major stuff happening for that creek and my place to get flooded. There's a ton of cars out in the parking lot that would get flooded before the house. But you have to be aware. You have to be able to see what's going on to understand the things that are going on. And to be able to to be prepared. When you live in this area, I always say, when you live in this area, keep something, keep a satchel or a small bag by the door, and have some of the stuff that you need in case something like this happens. Because there are several. We live in a place. It's a beautiful place. But it's also prone to disasters, earthquakes, fires, things like that. If you live in this area, you should have a bag by the door, able to get out in a couple of minutes with some necessities. Because, unfortunately, we live in a place that these things do happen. They're built in places that, I don't know, you can make an argument maybe that they should never have built in. Ooh, that's good. Anyway, so that's my soapbox for today. I thank you for indulging me for a second and listen, but I think it's important that we, recognize that there's some problems out there that need to be taken care of, and that we do our part as citizens to help people. It's not hard. It's a really easy thing to do. To help people. All right. I don't know if you saw this. Yes, life is better with a little bit of humor, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know if you saw the Waymo situation. I know that we're getting Waymo here in Seattle and its environs. We're getting Waymo. They are they are waiting right now for they're waiting for it to happen. They're bringing the cars up here, but earlier this week in San Francisco, the Waymo cars, and if you don't know what Waymo is, it's a self-driving taxi. Usually it's a white Jaguar with a kind of a conical shaped thing on the top and some things that stick out of the fenders of the car. And they're self-driving taxis. You can hail one. You can go to the app and get one delivered to you downtown. And they'll come to you. And you get in. There's no driver. You put in where you want to go. And once you're in, the door's locked and you're on your way. I guess there are studies that say that women and I've talked to my daughter about this, that women feel safer in these cars than getting in a car with an Uber driver or a Lyft driver. Now, with Lyft, I guess you can request a female driver if you're a female, and they'll send you one. With Uber, I don't think you have that option. But no driver seems to be. I mean, this is how screwed up men have been. That women, there are some women who are afraid to get in a car with a man. They'd rather go with a car with no driver. Does that tell you something? Anyway, people. So these Waymos catch on. These Waymos actually are something. People, that they're popular. They use them. They've even become a tourist attraction in places like San Francisco. It becomes something like people will go to San Francisco and they'll get in Waymo and just drive around town in it. I guess there's no real I guess law that says you can't drive around town in the Waymo. So as long as you want, right? I guess you can say, Waymo, take me on a tour. I don't know that for a fact, but it sounds logical. You can hire a yellow cab to take you on a tour. But anyway, so these Waymos are very popular among people, not just for transportation, but they also provide the city of San Francisco and its environs, because they've now expanded it beyond San Francisco. They provide San Franciscans with some comic relief. They have, they're popular at providing a modicum of comic relief for San Franciscans, and they did this week, as some guy came out of his garage, out of his driveway, and saw this in San Francisco. Here he was. He wanted to leave his garage, and what does he see? I guess this is his car sitting there. You just saw the nose of, but two Waymos locked together in the street with their things spinning on top, and a third Waymo that has made its way down the block to spy on the other two Waymos. So you have the two Waymos that are out in the middle of the street. Their bumpers are touching. And I guess according to a couple of different articles that I read, when the Waymos touch, there's like a control center. They have somebody in the control center that can see what's going on around the car. They try to split them up and then they can drive off. But if they can't do that, you have to wait for the Waymo team to come out and separate the cars. I don't know if they do that by putting them into gear, if they drive them apart from each other like you would normally do, or how exactly that. I mean, sure, there's an override switch in the Waymo somewhere, but you have to you have to get in there and manually back them away from each other. If you're watching this, you can see that the two Waymos are touching fender to fender. And so they got the street blocked off, plus the third Waymo, who's not doing anything but parked there, can't move to let this guy out of his garage. Now, if he had some driving skills, he probably could have got his car out of the, nudged it out of the garage and gone up the sidewalk, but it didn't seem. What happened is the attraction of this Waymo business going on in front of these guys was much more interesting than wherever this guy had to go. So he pulled out his camera, of course, and it became a viral sensation. It was on ABC and NBC and CBS and every news thing that was going on. And it was pretty funny for some people, pretty hilarious. And I suspect we're in store for some of these moments in Seattle. Although I don't really think the people in Seattle have the same sense of humor that people in San Francisco do. So they may not see this as funny as the people in San Francisco or New York or anywhere else that the Waymos have been deployed will find this is funny. I think here it will be, boy, look at what those leftists are doing now, or boy, look at what those right-wingers are doing now with their Waymos, or look at what Bill Gates has done. I mean, it's just, it's just there's going to be politics injected into everything, and there should be politics because they had to issue permits for these cars. And it seems that, these permits for these driverless taxis is really what they are fairly easy to obtain. You just lay enough money around and you get one, right? Yeah, there's a rigorous process. I know the politicians are going to tell you that there's a rigorous process to get a Waymo license. So maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But I don't know, would you get into a self-driving taxi? I would. I will. I'll try. I'm going to try to get a Waymo when they're here, when I can get one. I want to experience it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, if somebody hits you, you get killed in a self-driving taxi, your family's gonna make a lot of money on you. And I'm okay with leaving my daughter a lot of money. If I didn't get it over the course of my career, maybe she'll get it all in one lump sum. Who knows? But it is it's definitely an interesting and funny thing that's going on in the automotive world and in the world of transportation. All right, the big car that people the big talk this week in the car world and all of the different magazines and stuff was Donald Trump, as I always call him President Slapdick. I was going to say affectionately call him, but I have no affection for him. So, and the news he made this week is the usual news that he makes. He said something without thinking about it. He opened up his mouth without thinking about how or what the effects of it are. And so we now have people running around the country exclaiming the virtues of K cars. What is a K car, you ask? Well, it's one of those smaller cars. They're basically made in Japan and other Asian countries, and they're a smaller version of some bigger vehicles. They look like they're 3/4 of a car. They're basically for urban use. They don't have a lot of range to them if they're electric, and many of them are electric. the newer ones. Older ones have small gas engines. Maybe they go 50, 60 miles an hour, but I wouldn't jump on the freeway with one. I don't know if I'd want to do that. But I certainly, around town, I think they're cool little cars. I wouldn't mind having one. But the prices have gone up so much. They used to be like reasonable cars. People import them into the United States through the 25-year rule. If a car is 25 years old or older, it doesn't have to conform with a lot of the regulations, the safety regulations, the smog regulations, the different regulations. If you're driving a 25-year-old car, it doesn't have to have seat belts. It doesn't have to have airbags. Doesn't have to have shoulder harnesses. Doesn't have to have anti-lock brakes, to name a few things. Well, these cars, these K cars, some of them come under those rules, and so you see them driving around in Seattle and around Western Washington. There's actually a lot on Aurora Avenue, near just north of the Town and Country Shopping Center there, where the Cars and Coffee used to be, that specializes in those K cars. And he's got a lot full of them. The ones I like are the little Nissans that look like that are fire engines. The streets in Tokyo are so small that they use these little fire engines to go fight fires. They hook up to a fire hydrant and, do what they got to do. And they're cool little examples of K cars. A lot of places that we see, farms use them because they don't use a lot of gas, and they're rugged enough to be able to go into the planting fields and carry stuff. And so again, a great idea for Asia that would work here. And the president has seen these. Somebody probably showed him a picture of one and said, well, there's a good idea. Smaller cars, let's build those in America. And, talked about him at a press conference last week where he talked about the easing of federal emission standards. And, the banishment of electric cars, how, almost single-handedly this guy has ruined the electric car business. I wouldn't throw away my Chargers just yet, but certainly taking a $7,500 tax credit away from people that wanted to buy those electric cars have hurt them, although not as much as you think. I mean, to their credit, the manufacturers of those cars have stepped up and put up some pretty hot deals for cars. If you are in the market for a car right now, you are well advised that if an electric car fits your needs, to go and look at an electric car, because there's some smoking deals on them. And used electric cars are out and out bargains right now. So again, if the car fits your needs, and if you're driving, if you keep the car, you drive 25, 30, 40 miles a week, an electric car is going to do you just fine. So anyway, a lot of people are hot on these cars now. But, I mean, the reality is these cars have been available for a long time through these dealers and stuff and on eBay and stuff. And the older ones, the prices have gone up. The newer ones, if these companies were to make them, were to increase their production, even if they went through all the hurdles of the federal government, do you know what? Almost all of those cars that are made now are electric. So once again, on one hand, the president is saying, get rid of electric cars. There's no future in electric cars. They're garbage electric cars. Get rid of There's no such thing as global warming. Tell that to the people that are under 6 feet of water, that there's no environmental change. But the people that are going to go to buy these cars, if there is a demand for these cars, and I don't know that there is going to be a demand for these cars, except for enthusiasts who like these cars. A guy like me that would buy one on a whim because I think they're cute, because my daughter likes it. I said, geez, it'd be a nice thing to have, to go to Home Depot, to go here, to go there, throw stuff in the back of the truck. Go do what you got to do. Have something different to drive up to Cars and Coffee. I love to have one. Gas or electric. Especially one of those little Nissan fire engines. I think I'd be cool looking at like Fireman Bob getting out of one of those things at Cars and Coffee. But the reality is that they're not going to get done. They're not going to get made in America. First of all, why would a car company invest in anything right now with the American government? A government that told them 6 years ago to build electric cars, and now this president comes along and says, don't build electric cars. So millions and billions of dollars go down the drain. Instead of building on government, on demand, on what the people want, they're building on what the government wants. And it's both, and it's both ways. It's not just Republicans. It's not just Democrats. It's the government. I mean, I thought the whole idea of the American government was that you have faith and confidence in what the government says is going to be now, is going to be next year, is going to be the year after that. But, and who it's hurting is the average person, because the development on cars, electric cars, should have been from the bottom up. Instead, it was done from the top down. And you can't develop these things from the top down. If America would have built a $25,000 or $30,000 electric car, they probably would have sold more than they knew that they could sell, more than they could print. Look at the Chevrolet Bolt. Electric. Sold all they could print, and then they stopped making it. It's a great car. Does everything you need it to do if you live in the city or the suburbs. They started making them again. They'll be out in showrooms any week now. And you'll be able to buy one probably for around $35,000. And if you are a city dweller and you have a charging station available to you, if you live in a home, a single family home, a double, two family home, and you can put a charging station in your house, it'll save you thousands over the life of the car. And I think those incentives from the government are going to come back. So I think the success of the Chevy Bolt will tell what car makers will do next. I think the Bolt is going to be a wild success for General Motors. It's a good car. It's a solid car. It has a track record. They're building it on a new platform, which the bugs have been worked. There's probably been no more of a researched platform on a car than the platform that's going, the Ultium platform that's going under a Chevy Bolt. It's amazing what they're doing. Now, one of these smaller cars, these K-type cars that probably would be earmarked for America, they've already said it, is Stellantis, I think, has a piece of this Italian company, and a car that we spoke about not too long ago, called the Microlino. Remember when we talked about the Microlino? Yes, we spoke about the Microlino. We did a show on it, I think, 2 years ago. And the Microlino, you'll see it here in a second. The Microlino is a car that is a unique car. It's a car that it looks like, if you remember the yeah, and probably a lot of people don't remember the old Isetta. It had the one door that opened in front, and with this door that opened in front, you could get in. You said it had one bench seat, engines in the rear. This one, the new Microlino, is electric. They're roaming around in Italy right now. I think they're classified as a motorcycle for some reason. But the Microlino, I guess, as I said, Stellantis has a piece of this company. And so they have said that they are going to bring this car. Well, they haven't said it officially, but rumors are going around hot and heavy that they are going to bring this car into, or try to bring it in, if President Trump approves or somehow gets this idea through Congress of these micro cars, these smaller cars. If he somehow manages to do that, the folks at Microlino are prepared to start to ship these cars to America, or so it seems. I think they're cool cars for the city. Again, not something I think I would want to take out on the highway. But if you're one of those people that love taking, Route 99 down to Tacoma, and taking in all the sites that are on Route 99 that you're apt to see, probably a nice little ride. If you're somebody that, you go to the store, you go here, you go there around town, you don't really go out of town much. Maybe you take a leisurely ride up, up north that doesn't require you getting on the freeway. It might be a perfect car for you. I don't know. I forget what the range is on them, but it wasn't, it was 100-something miles. It wasn't a lot of range on the car. I'm sure that they'll improve that. And it'll be a fun, odd-looking car. You'll get a lot of looks with it, that's for sure. And I forget what the price was, but they weren't. I think they were under $20,000. And if somebody can put out a $20,000 car in the United States, and it be something that people can go and get and drive and jump into, I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to see. Americans traditionally don't, I don't know, they don't seem like they really have gone for small cars except in the cities. So I don't know. You'd have to roll the dice a little bit with the Microlino. You'd have to, if you're a car maker. But what the heck? What's Stellantis got to lose? I mean, maybe they could make a small Jeep. Maybe that would be something. But a little something like the Volkswagen Thing or something like that was out years ago. But I do believe that these cars are going to gain popularity in being imported into the country. I think people will. I think they're cool little cars. They serve a great purpose. They're a smaller car that, if you're using them in an urban environment, are really sharp cars that get the job done. And that's what people want. They want a car that's going to get the car done. So it'd be interesting to see how they work out. I'm trying to see if I can get a picture of one up here real quick. I mean, I had them in the file. I forget if it was 3 years ago that we, there you go. Let's try this. Here we go. That's the Microlino. The Micro. And again, this one door, if you can see us, if you're watching us, this one door opens up and the steering gear and everything is contained in that door. The dashboard, it closes up, it locks up, and you're off on your way. If it's two people, there might be a third seat in the back. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But there might be a third seat in the back for one person. Or cargo. So, you probably could fit 3 people in this car. But it's basically a 2-seater. And it'll get you from point A to point B in the city. If I'm a pizza place, I got a fleet of these. If I'm Pagliacci, man, I buy, 10 of these and I'm going around town delivering my pizzas and Microlinos. Or Domino's or any one of the pizza places. The local chains more than, and the big national chains. But how cool would those be? Pulling up to your house. I mean, you'd have a ton of people. You'd certainly be talking to people, have a conversation with people. I think they're cool little cars. I'd love to see them come to America. Love to see the Microlino people make them in America. Be nice if they could put some people to work out in the Midwest. They need some jobs. And who knows, if I'm driving around New York City or Chicago or wherever, San Francisco, I wouldn't want to drive one in like Omaha because you got too many big dudes with big pickup trucks there. If you got hit with a big pickup truck on one of these things, they could just crush it and bury you in it. But that's your Microlino. So that's something that I think you're going to see. Maybe in the not too distant future. Maybe you're looking at. Yeah, that's going to be around quicker than you think. They are selling them in Italy, and from what I understand, they're selling well in it. There's also another company in England that's making a small delivery truck. I think remember the Morris Minor? It was a car that was made by Chrysler, but they had this Chrysler of England called the Roots Group, and they made a small truck, small panel truck, almost looks like a milk truck. And there's a company that has been that was on the cusp of making those in England. I don't know if whatever happened. I know they were taking orders for them. Not so long ago. But it seemed like they were it seemed like for some reason I haven't heard much about them. So I'll have to look at that for the future. But that was another I looked at those, and those were really cool as campers. I remember when I saw them at the time, I thought to myself, these really would make great campers. And so I'll have to look a little bit more at those vehicles and see if I can find out what happened. Because that would be another vehicle that I think would be successful over here on a limited scale. If what the president is proposing, and if he can make it happen, and I think he's got deeper troubles than figuring out what kind of cars to bring into America or have made in America. But it's one of those things that if the right money was put into it, I think it'd be successful for a certain segment of the population. See, the part of the problem is we want a car that's going to be useful for everybody. We want to think that the same person that's going to buy a car in, I don't know, let's say Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, is going to be the same person that's going to buy the same car in a big city, in a San Francisco or a Seattle or a Portland. And the reality is it's not the same person. The person that buys a car in Iowa is not going to be the same car anymore that's useful to a person in Iowa that's useful to a person in the city. There'll be some cars that cross over, but right now, who's making cars? What American manufacturer is making cars? If you want to buy a car, you pretty much got to go to the Koreans. Because the American manufacturers are making trucks. Stellantis makes a car. The Charger and the Challenger, right? Or the Charger. Ford makes the Mustang. Chevy makes the Corvette. That may be the only car they make. They got rid of the Impala, the Malibu, I guess, was the last. This year was the last year. 25 was the last year for the Impala or the Malibu. I think the Malibu. So there's no Chevy cars except for the Corvette right now. Again, high dollar cars that bring a certain kind of buyer. You can buy 8 different versions of the Mustang, 5 of the Corvette, but you can't buy a 4-door sedan from an American manufacturer anymore. Even the police can't buy police cars. They have to buy police SUVs. It's sad. If you want a car, you got to go to the Koreans. Or you got to go to the Volkswagen, which has, the Jetta and the GTI, the Golf. And both, Kia and Hyundai both make some very nice cars, very fine cars. Um, BMW's making a car, but the American auto manufacturer has pretty much given up on cars. They'll be back someday because as we've learned one thing in life, everything is cyclical. So that'll come back again someday, I am sure. So speaking about cars, let's take a look at our Yo Vinnie. What are you driving this week?
Yo, Vinny.
And see what we got here. Let's put me up on the stage here and see exactly what I got to say.
This week on Yo, Vinny. Curvy, athletic, powerful, and all dressed up for Christmas. Maybe this is what Santa's looking for under his tree.
There you go. Ducks got to me. I had to do it. Anyway, it's the 2026 Lexus NX350H Sport. HF Sport. NX350H, which is hybrid F Sport, which is pretty much the Lexus version of the RAV4. If you can't get a RAV4, start looking at the Lexus, this 350 and 450H. They're beautiful cars. I mean, this is a car. Now, last week we showed you the spectacular Mazda CX-90. This is a bit different than the CX-90. If you want to see America, maybe you want a different car because you want bigger glass. You want to see more. But if you want something that's a luxurious, shapely, athletic, nice car to drive, this is a car that you should be thinking about. I mean, it has really, the lines on the car are beautifully. It's beautifully designed. It gives you that Lexus grille in front that's so distinct. It gives you lots of room in the back. The NX350 all-wheel drive, Lexus's all-wheel drive system is incredible. They hit you with the gas motor in the front, the electric motors in the back. It goes through just about anything. And maybe one of the most stunning sedan or stunning SUVs out there. Lots of luxury in there, the fake leather interior, which is so popular these days, the gauges and the screens, the video stuff, all is well designed. The center console is well designed. They changed everything from that joystick thing that they had, or that iPad thing or pad thing that they had a couple of years ago. They completely redesigned it, and the entire system makes a lot of sense. With the F Sport, you get some dynamic driving modes. What the F Sport gives you is a lot of work in the suspension to make the car ride better, to handle better in situations, to feel better on the road when you get a slick road, and the ability to customize the suspension for the vehicle to handle just like you want it. It's also the little things in the Lexus that make it a really interesting car, in that they have, it's a stupid little thing, right? But to open the glove box or the center console storage from both sides it's an argument saver. Because, oh, honey, I can't find it. Oh, yeah, okay, wait, I can't look in here. I'm driving. Stop bugging me while I'm driving. And there's an argument. But instead, you make it so it opens from both sides. She can open it. He can open it on the other side. There's no argument. They can look for themselves what they're looking for, right? That's part of what Lexus gives you, is they think about those little things. I mean, I'm sure there's two Lexus engineers that were married that looked at this car and said, I get to an argument with my husband whenever we go anywhere. So why don't we make the glove box or the console box open from both sides, so I don't have to get into an argument with this guy when I'm looking for something that I threw in there 6 weeks ago. And boom, it's a lot better. It's a lot easier. Makes life easy, and that's what this Lexus does. Riding dynamics so far are beautiful. I haven't had a chance to take it on the test track for reasons that we explained before, but there's leg room. There's comfort in the back. With the hybrid, you still have to deal with the transmission hump or the drive train hump in the middle, but that's life. Gets the Mark Levinson stereo in this particular model that is a blasted stereo. The sound on this thing is unreal, whether you're listening to XM satellite or you're listening to AM radio. It improves and makes the sound a lot better. So this vehicle is so far stylish, adjustable, practical, luxurious, and a vehicle that I think I'd be proud to drive anywhere. And it's got, and listen, it's a Lexus. It's bulletproof. I mean, nothing's going to go wrong with this car. I mean, you almost know that already. Consumer Reports already said that the best thing you can do is buy a Lexus. It's one of their cars that at the top of their list year in and year out. This particular car is $57,914 with the all-wheel drive, the Mark Levinson audio system, the panoramic glass roof, and the courtesy delivery sticker, which they don't charge you for, which is mighty nice, Lexus. But you have a scad of safety equipment on this thing. Self-parking suite that, a lot of people love. You have sport seats, which are bolstered and make you feel better when you're driving on long trips. The 20-inch alloy wheels, the adaptive suspension, the performance dampers. And, this is going to be stupid. But there's a little thing, I don't know if you saw it in the tape there, but it's like a little thing that I noticed on this car. And at the back of the rear quarter panels, there's a little bolster. And I asked an engineer friend of mine, what is that little bolster there for? And they said, that probably saves you a gallon or two of gas a week. He says, that little bolster directs the wind in a way that whips around the back of the car instead of holding the back of the car. And it probably saves you a gallon of gas a week. And if you're driving a Lexus, you're probably not worried about a gallon of gas a week. But maybe you are. And, at $5 a gallon, it gives you something to worry about. So that is what I'm driving this week. It is the Lexus NX350H, stands for hybrid, all-wheel drive, the F Sport edition with the F Sport package. And again, it's, based on the platform is the same as the RAV4. It's a much different vehicle than the RAV4, a much more luxurious vehicle in the RAV4. But what they're getting for the RAV4 Prime these days, you get $64,000 for the plug-in hybrid. This one's $57,000. Maybe worth it going and looking at it if you want a RAV4, saying, you know what, I'll take a step up. If you have to pay a premium for the RAV4 and you're looking at this, maybe there's not that much difference between them. If you're going to spend $50 for a RAV4, may as well spend $57 and go in style, right? I'm just saying. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. So that is that vehicle, and that is a nice vehicle, as I said. And we'll have a full review of that vehicle coming up in a future edition of Drive Time Radio. All right, that's going to pack it in for this week. Again, if you have the opportunity to donate to the Red Cross, please go to their website at redcross.org and look for the links for Western Washington relief. So people could use your help, and the Red Cross could use your help helping those people that are affected by the floods here in the state of Washington. If you're outside the state of Washington, stay safe. because it seems these days in this country, some kind of horrible disaster will visit somebody no matter where you are. So be prepared. As I said, have that bag by your door. And again, as I started the show, I'll finish it with a very happy birthday to my stepmom, Carol. Happy birthday, Carol. I'll be talking to you in person soon, but I know that you listen to the show, and I know that you listen to Michael and I every week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10:10 on till 11:10 or so. And so I wanted to just send out our special birthday greetings to you. All right. That'll put another one in the books if the Lord's willing and the creek don't rise. And I shouldn't probably say that. But let's hope the Lord keeps the creeks at bay. And it doesn't hurt you to call a neighbor and find out if they're all right. And check in on them on this holiday season. Make sure that they're doing okay. And I will see you for another edition of Drive Time next Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning. And until then, peace, love, and Manischewitz. And never to forget that this show is brought to you by George Jackson Promotions. George Jackson, probably a little too late now, but if you need gifts for the upcoming year, if you need things to show your appreciation to your clients or the people that work for you, George Jackson is the guy to call. GJPromotion.com. He specializes in business gifts of all kinds, printed T-shirts, logoed items. If they are made, George Jackson will get them made for you, and he'll get them to you on time as promised. He's a no bullcrap guy, George. And he will make sure that you get your what you ordered right the first time, because you're dealing with George. You don't have some AI phone number. You have George's number. And you call George up and you say, hey, George, when's my stuff coming? And George looks at his thing and says, okay, it'll be here on Monday. But George, you told me it'll be here on Tuesday. All right, it's coming Monday. You want me to stop it until Tuesday? I'll stop it until Tuesday. I thought I was doing you a favor by getting it to you a day early. I'm just saying, that's the kind of guy George is. So again, GJPromo.com. Go check him out on the internet. And if you need something, tell him I sent you. He'll take care of you, George will. All right? All right. See you on Monday with Mikey. Have a good weekend. And that's about it. See you later. Bye-bye now. Thanks for listening. We always appreciate it.